In a world that often waits for heroes, sometimes the most unexpected ones rise. What makes a hero? Muscles, money, a cape? No, sometimes it's just someone who refuses to look away when it matters most. These are the true stories of ordinary people, who transformed into legends in moments of pure crisis. Stay with me, because the last story will shatter what you think you know about human courage. Jason was 19, a high school dropout flipping burgers at a drive-thru in Ohio. Nothing special, right? Until one day a car crashed straight into the building, right into the dining area. Screams, smoke, chaos. Most people ran out, but Jason, he ran in. He pulled out a screaming mother, then her baby, whose car seat was pinned under burning debris. No gloves, no helmet, just raw instinct. By the time the fire truck arrived, Jason had saved 5 people, burned his arms, almost passed out from smoke. When asked why he did it, he said, "They would have died if I waited." Jason wasn't trained, he wasn't paid, he just decided to act. Wesley Autry was just a construction worker waiting for the train with his 2 daughters. Next to him a young man collapsed, convulsing, and fell onto the tracks. The lights of the train were already coming. What would you do? Autry jumped onto the tracks, covered the man's body, pressed him into the trench between the rails as the train roared over them, just inches above their heads. 5 cars passed. When the train stopped, both men were alive, covered in grease, shaking, but alive. Wesley simply said, "I have daughters. I couldn't let them watch someone die." He became known as the Subway Superman, but he says he's not a hero. Maybe real heroes never think they are. Oklahoma, 2013. A deadly EF5 tornado ripped through a town, flattening everything. Most people were fleeing, but not Kyla, just 17 at the time. She saw an elderly man trapped under a flipped car. She grabbed a crowbar. Her fingers bled as she tried to lift it. She screamed for help, but nobody came. She didn't stop. She dragged him out just seconds before another twister touched down. When asked how she did it, she didn't know. She said it felt like something inside her just snapped into place. They later found out he was a war veteran. She saved a man who once saved others. Texas, 2017. A gunman opened fire inside a small-town church. 26 people were killed. But one man, Stephen Williford, heard the shots from his home. He was barefoot, had no time to think. He grabbed his AR-15 and ran toward the sound. He had never shot at a person before, but in that moment, he didn't hesitate. He confronted the killer, exchanged fire, and ultimately stopped him from taking more lives. He was called a hero by the police. Stephen simply said, "I was terrified, but I couldn't let him hurt anyone else." Sometimes courage is just doing what needs to be done, even when your hands are shaking. London. A 15-year-old girl named Paige was walking home when she saw a man standing on the edge of a bridge looking down. Cars drove by. People stared. No one stopped. But Paige did. She talked to him for 45 minutes, told him stories, asked about his dog, his dreams, he cried. Then, he stepped back. He told police later. "She reminded me that I matter." She had no training, no script, no plan, just compassion. That's all it took to save a life. Crisis doesn't create character, it reveals it. These people weren't superheroes. They were waiters, workers, teenagers, parents. What made them extraordinary was their choice. They chose to act, to care, to run toward the fire when the world ran away, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be that person one day, because the world doesn't need more perfect people, it needs more brave ones. In the moment it mattered most, they didn't wait for a hero, they became one. If this story moved you, share it. Let the world know that courage isn't rare, it's just quiet, waiting for its moment. Subscribe for more stories that prove humanity is still alive, and still extraordinary.